Beneath the rumble of the assembly line and the aroma of baking dough, a secret slept, a vast, echoing basement, its concrete walls slick with age and neglect. This was the Detroit Deep, a shared underbelly of two titans, Ford and Little Caesars. A relic of a forgotten partnership, it had become a dumping ground, a subterranean graveyard for the unwanted and obsolete. No one ventured into the Detroit Deep, not anymore. Its entrance, a nondescript metal door tucked away in the bowels of the Ford factory, was sealed shut, draped in cobwebs and warnings. The air hung heavy with the scent of stale grease and forgotten things. It was a place where echoes lingered, whispering of a time when Detroit dreamed a different dream. The Detroit Deep held the city's past, a past that would soon become its bizarre, cheesy future. The air hummed with a forgotten energy, a premonition of the strange events to come. Down here, in the belly of the city, something was about to awaken, something born of hubris, pepperoni, and atomic fire. The Nevada desert shimmered under the scorching sun. Area 51, shrouded in secrecy and speculation, prepared for one final test. But fear had gripped the officials. Whispers of unforeseen consequences, of reality's warping, had reached Washington. A new location was needed, one far from prying eyes and fragile deserts. Their gaze fell upon Detroit, a city hardened by industry, accustomed to the clang of metal and the thrum of engines, and beneath it all, the Detroit Deep, a concrete vault, ready to swallow their anxieties and their bombs. The decision was made. The test would be moved. The bomb, a compact sphere of unimaginable power, was transported under a veil of secrecy. It arrived in Detroit, cloaked in darkness, its arrival marked only by the rustle of wind and a chill that sank into the city's bones. The Detroit Deep, once a tomb of forgotten dreams, was about to become a crucible of something far stranger. The Detroit Deep was a monument to forgotten ambition. Stacks of unsold Mustangs, their paint peeling like sunburnt skin, gathered dust. Boxes of frozen crazy bread, their dough eternally unbaked, lined the walls. The air was thick with the ghosts of marketing campaigns past, the spectral aroma of failed fast food ventures. Ford had abandoned its ill-conceived Edsel 2.0 prototypes down here, sleek machines that never quite caught the public's imagination. Little Caesars had interred its calzone colossus, a culinary experiment that proved too ambitious for even the hungriest Michigander. The Detroit Deep was a graveyard of aspirations, a testament to the fickle nature of taste and innovation. But amidst the discarded dreams and industrial detritus, something stirred. The arrival of the bomb, its presence a hum of unsettling energy, had awakened a dormant power within the Detroit Deep. The forgotten relics, the cast-off ingredients, the very essence of Detroit's industrial heart were about to be reborn. The bomb detonated, not with a bang, but a silent, almost imperceptible ripple. The energy contained within the concrete sarcophagus of the Detroit Deep didn't explode outwards. It turned inwards. It seeped into the forgotten relics, into the steel bones of the Edsels, into the yeasty souls of the calzone colossuses. It mingled with the radioactive glow of the bomb itself, a toxic and absurd alchemy taking hold. The dough began to bubble, not with yeast, but with a strange internal light. The car parts twisted, metal groaning as it reshaped itself into grotesque parodies of limbs and faces. The air crackled with the scent of baking pepperoni and ozone, a bizarre and unsettling perfume. From the heart of the Detroit Deep, something new was crawling forth. They rose from the depths, creatures of dough and steel, animated by the strange energies unleashed by the bomb. Pizza elementals, they were called. Amalgams of Detroit's industrial past and its insatiable appetite for cheesy bread, and they were hungry, not for flesh, but for something far stranger. They craved chaos. Section 5. Pepperoni Pandemonium. The pizza elementals did not rampage. They did not burn or destroy. Their chaos was far more subtle, far more bizarre. Traffic lights across Detroit began flashing sequences that corresponded to pizza orders. Statues of Henry Ford were found adorned with pepperoni necklaces, his bronze likeness smeared with marinara sauce. The Spirit of Detroit statue was fitted with a giant foam "We Deliver" hand. The city's rhythm was disrupted by a symphony of honking horns, each blast perfectly mimicking the jingle of the Little Caesars theme song. Parking meters dispensed fortune cookie-like slips of paper, each bearing cryptic messages like, "The cheese is your destiny," or "Beware the Ides of breadsticks." The Tigers lost a game 12-0, the final score a perfect representation of a clock face, a pizza clock face. Detroit was plunged into a surreal, dough-infused fever dream. The citizens, accustomed to the city's rough edges, found themselves navigating a reality where absurdity was the norm. The pizza elementals were not conquerors, they were pranksters, cosmic jesters with a penchant for cheesy bread and a warped sense of humor. And this was just the beginning. Section 6, A City Transformed. Detroit, once a symbol of American industrial might, became a canvas for the pizza elementals' bizarre whims. The Renaissance Center, once a gleaming testament to corporate ambition, was now topped with a giant rotating pizza slicer. The Detroit River, once a conduit for freighters and industry, was now dotted with miniature gondola-like delivery boats, each piloted by doughy figures with glowing pepperoni eyes. Playing cards were redesigned. Hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades were replaced with pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, and sausage. Poker nights took on a new, cheesy dimension. Cars, Detroit's lifeblood, were not spared. Vehicles sported custom paint jobs depicting pizza slices racing across checkered flags. Pizzified Cadillacs and Mustangs became coveted status symbols. The line between reality and absurdity blurred. The citizens of Detroit, caught in the throes of this strange, cheesy transformation, found themselves adapting. They had to. After all, when in Pizza Rome, do as the dough creatures do. Section 7, Under Doughy Dominion. The old order crumbled. The mayor of Detroit, unable to explain the sudden proliferation of pizza-themed chaos, resigned in a tearful press conference where he declared his undying love for extra cheese. Little Caesars, initially celebrating the bizarre marketing opportunity, soon found their corporate structure dissolving as their mascot, now animated by the same force that powered the pizza elementals, declared himself supreme ruler of Pizza Town. The reign of the pizza elementals was not one of tyranny, but of baffling, doughy decrees. City ordinances mandated a minimum of one pizza order per household per day. Public gatherings were punctuated by mandatory pizza dough sculpting competitions. Failure to comply didn't result in imprisonment, but in something far more unsettling, being subjected to endless loops of the Little Caesars jingle. Detroit, once a city of grit and determination, became a surreal reflection of its new, cheesy overlords. The rest of the world watched with a mixture of amusement and concern as the Motor City transformed into Pizza Town, a bizarre, isolated city-state ruled by the whims of creatures born from nuclear fire and discarded fast food. Section 8. Hail Pizza Town. The name change was inevitable. Detroit, a name whispered with a strange mix of respect and pity, was no more. In its place stood Pizza Town, a city draped in mozzarella and pepperoni, its skyline dominated by the colossal pizza-shaped palace of the former Little Caesars mascot, now known only as the Dough Father. Life in Pizza Town was strange, but strangely stable. The pizza elementals, their initial burst of chaotic energy subsiding, settled into a routine of bizarre governance and public displays of dough-manipulating prowess. The citizens, resigned to their fate, found solace in the abundance of cheesy bread and the oddly comforting predictability of their new, absurd reality. The rest of the world, however, kept its distance. Pizza Town became a cautionary tale, a whispered legend of what happens when corporate greed, government secrecy, and an insatiable hunger for pizza collide. And within the doughy walls of Pizza Town, life went on, a surreal blend of cheesy bread, bizarre rituals, and the lingering fear that one day the pizza elementals might develop a taste for something more exotic, perhaps anchovies.